Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Infield Chatter Podcast, World Series Edition.
It's time for the show, baby.
We are here, final two teams of the baseball.
It all starts
league.
tomorrow as we're recording this today.
Which, Thursday. First game was on Friday. Very nice of them to space it out. I mean, not the flashiest of teams that they have for the finals. I forget where I saw this, but the percentage drop for the viewership with these teams versus having Philly in was pretty substantial. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, it sucks that the classic how are they going to get more people to watch baseball becomes, well, pick better teams to be in the finals. But, dude, these are the teams we got, so this is what we have.
These are the teams I want to see, to be honest. I get it. Philly's probably, I don't have the numbers, but probably twice the size of Arizona population-wise.
Well, and the, popularity or just the interest of those teams. I don't know too many people that are like, man, I'm a diehard Arizona Diamondbacks fan.
Right. I don't know anybody, and then I know one Rangers fan.
I know one Rangers fan as well.
Shout out to Zach Reinert.
Yeah, Paul Vargas. So that's the series we got. First game in Texas.
Yeah, I think it'll be
Central Time.
I think it'll be fun. I like both these teams. I didn't really know that much about either one of them until this season. I know the Rangers had the Rangers were supposed to make it to the World Series. They had signed DeGrom. They had signed Corey Seager. They had the run differential. They brought Bruce Bochy out of retirement. I'm not shocked that the Rangers made it. I am shocked that the Diamondbacks made it because I knew nothing about them. But that team scares me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you saw the posts. It was like the post-game celebration when they moved on in maybe the wild card round. It was one of the early rounds, but they were about to pop the bottles of champagne in the locker room. And the coach was giving a speech, and he was like, "Fuck it, let's get fucked up. A bonded team is a scary team. Let's party." And I was like, "Holy shit, these guys are nuts." So I kind of like that energy that they're bringing.
I mean, their run differential, as you just mentioned, in the regular season was I think I looked, it was -84 or something crazy like that. They were, and I was just listening to so much stuff, and this is one of three teams in most of major sports to have to be in the finals with such a huge run differential, or even having a run differential in the negative. So I think what's interesting about the Diamondbacks to me is almost every game in that last series they were playing from behind, or they were the underdog going into it, and that can kind of suck. And they do have a few rookies on that team. There's not a huge veteran base for that team. So the fact that they kind of have just kept their heads down, never doubted that, or saw that the ship was sinking around them, and then just kind of kept going, that's a pretty cool characteristic to have for a team.
Yeah, that's classic baseball. Just fucking play your game and then see how it plays out. And I'm excited. I mean, they haven't won since the Randy Johnson era, so.
And they this is the dumb thing, but they have a cool color scheme. It's nice that to have a team maybe that isn't red, white, and blue that's going to be one of the major squads.
Right. I'm a big fan of turquoise. They got that little turquoise number with they got killer jerseys.
They got the purple.
Texas,
cool.
those cream colored, or those white Texas or cream colored, I forget, but Texas has some baller jerseys too.
It's no Space City, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sick of the Astros. I mean, I love Dusty Baker, but I'm tired of seeing the Astros in the postseason. I'm tired. This is the first World Series since 2017 where the Dodgers or the Astros haven't been involved. So that's great. I mean, mix it up. It gets boring watching after a while. I'm sick of Philly. They had, Philly fans are shitty. And that team to me was a little overrated for how talented they are too. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Harper is always been, in my eyes, the most overrated player. I don't know why he got MVP. I don't know why they gave him MVP a couple years ago. That pissed me off. He's just a little drama queen. I don't really like the guy that much. So,
Well,
I'm
now
glad to
you're not
see.
gonna have to worry about him at all, Eric. So
Yeah,
your wish has
he's
been granted.
he's on vacation.
Yeah, I think let's see. So right now to win the World Series, it's actually the Rangers are favorited minus 174 on FanDuel.
Okay.
And the Arizona Diamondbacks are plus 148 to win. So Vegas still
Either
still
way, kind of split, huh?
underdog in the whole Diamondbacks win here. So who
Yeah.
knows?
I think that's fair. I think the starting rotation coming out of Texas is probably better. They got Jordan Montgomery leading the way, you know. They got a
Ethan
Roldis.
Eovaldi,
They got
you
a
know?
Roldis. They got a Roldis Chapman coming out of the bullpen throwing
Okay,
100, 104.
that's the thing where someone else put this as a tweet, and I felt it so hard. It's like it feels like every postseason you like start watching games, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, Chapman plays for this team in the postseason this year. Good for him, you know.
Yeah,
Like
he really is. He really is like the neighborhood bicycle of the Major League Baseball. Everybody gets a ride around this for a little while, and I love him. He was a Cub, but I swear to God, that was nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I still have images of that Jose Ramirez home run in Game 7. Like you can figure him out if you close your eyes and swing, you might get lucky against a Roldis, but watch your legs. Watch your
Yeah, I would
legs.
hate to get beamed by a
Oh my God.
103-mile-per-hour fastball being whipped by this
Right.
guy.
It's really hard to tell if that was retaliation or just bad control coming off of Chapman. So, I mean, the Astros did plunk a couple guys, deserve to get plunked back.
Mm.
Because I was saying this to one of my friends. I was like, baseball's made a lot of changes, but there's still room for that old school shit, you know, where if you hit my fella, we gonna throw right back at you. And they just got a bigger cannon coming out of Texas.
Well, and that's what
So
makes hockey superior is they can do whatever they want to self referee the league of
that's right.
bad behavior, and it's just
That's right.
a regular penalty.
If you can't beat them, beat them.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be cool to see. I mean, Corey Seager's obviously, you know, he's his batting average right now in the postseason, excuse me, is 0.33. Awesome. You know, they're also like killing. I mean, Garcia, like you mentioned,
Oh man,
he's a hitting machine.
he
7 home
really
runs in the
is.
postseason, 20 RBIs. I mean, he's almost hitting almost 2 RBIs a game right now.
Yeah,
And on
game.
the flip side, you got I had it. The highest RBIs are 9 from one guy on the team. So
Yeah,
I mean, the Diamondbacks spread it out a lot more. They do have a lot of like players like, you know, I'll say I'm a Marte fan. I'm into it.
yeah.
I love the purple hair.
He's got the streak going right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's good. It's fun. You know, I'm excited. It'll be fun to watch a series where like I don't have any deep feelings of like, oh, I really hate for this team to win, or I'd really hate
right.
for this team to lose. I really want this player to. It's
Yeah,
just going to be an enjoyable. I don't know what's going to happen, kind of a series.
right. And then I feel the same way. But like last night, I was explaining it to some friends that don't watch baseball, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers," and then you could tell they had maybe hardly heard of those two teams.
Yeah, I think some
So
people are like, Arizona still is a team.
yeah, so it will be interesting because if the Rangers win, Jacob deGrom will get a ring. I don't know if that counts, but he'll still get a ring. Much like I read an article today that there is a massage therapist in Major League Baseball who has 5 World Series rings.
You just got to be there, man. You just got to be there.
You just gotta be there. But that would be good for Jacob's career to pad his stat sheet, even though, I mean, he is arguably the greatest when he's healthy, but he has not been healthy. And then he chose to play for the Mets. That's on him. You know what I mean? In his prime, he gave his prime years to a bad organization. That's
he
his
just wanted to
fault.
see if he could fight off the curse a little bit. He's like, maybe I'm the thing that could fix it. And he's like, nope, never mind. I'm gonna go to
He was
Texas
like,
again.
yeah. So, but no, I am excited for this World Series. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see. I know I'll definitely be sprinkling probably every single game.
Some live
Money,
betting.
well, obviously. But I'm definitely gonna bet home runs for Garcia every game, just because
Yeah.
that makes the world more fun when
Yeah.
you just are
The
hopeful for some dingers.
Yeah, the most interesting thing about Garcia was when he hit that grand slam. He was wearing the golden sombrero when he hit that. He went 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts, and then hit that grand slam.
Yeah,
Pretty impressive feat.
I'm gonna take. I'll probably take the Rangers to win Game 1, and I'll probably take under 8 runs as
Yeah,
well. So that's gonna be my Game 1 picks.
yeah, I would back that up. I'd say Texas probably gonna take game one. But either way, I'm happy. Like I mean, like last season was kind of boring. I didn't want to see Philly win. I didn't want to see Texas win, and uh, or the Houston win, still in Texas, but I
Yeah,
should specify. I didn't want to see Houston win. I didn't want to see Philly win, but like I said, I've said this before on the podcast. I do like how the Astros have turned around their organization with all these international players. I do still love that. And then Dusty Baker, was due to announce his retirement today. I guess this is his second retirement, actually. He came out of retirement to coach the Astros after that debacle of the cheating scandal. And so kudos to him for even having the balls to do that. I mean, he was the perfect personality to come in and try to save that organization. So I like that. I never have a bad thing to say about Dusty. Dusty coached the Cubs for a couple years. He's been, he's a World Series champ coach and player. Been in the game for decades, and so it is sad to see him finally take his retirement and leave, but it's definitely well deserved, well earned. Too bad he couldn't win a game 7 in his career, but I don't think if you ask him, he probably don't care.
he's like, I didn't even know that statistic. I don't care. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a fun thing for the off season, and we'll eventually, I'm sure we'll get to this, but of all the different manager shakeups, like I feel like there's a lot of open manager jobs this off season, so it'll be
there
really
are
cool to see where and who people settle out.
yeah, off the top of my head, the Giants are hiring, the Astros are hiring. I think the Red Sox no, they still have Alex Cora, something like that. But
Cleveland's hiring a new one as well.
Cleveland's hiring because Terry's gone now.
He's go hang out with Dusty Baker and talk about the old days.
Oh yeah, the good
back
old
in
days,
the days
when you could still run into the home plate catcher.
Well, don't tell Bryce Harper that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so this will it'll be good. I'm Bruce Bochy, I think we said it's his third team that he's won a pennant with, as we talked
That's
about it
right.
off podcast.
Yep, that's a MLB record. Old Bruce Bochy. He must have known something. That's what I was saying when he came out. I was like, this motherfucker knows something about this team, and he was right. And then, to be honest, that division battle was very interesting at the end of the season there, where it all came down to that 4-way tie. And so, I think it's been. I still, this has been, I think, from start to finish, one of the more entertaining seasons out of the last, I don't know, 5-8 years.
Yeah, I mean, and especially looking back at like how we all thought the season was going to go, and you just expect like certain teams to just be like, okay, we're gonna go and dominate, like you think every year, like again, I'll go back to 100 wins for the Cardinals
for
this
the
year is what
Cardinals.
we
Yeah.
thought, and
Yeah, Yankees too.
ugh.
We thought the Yankees were gonna end up back in there too. But no, I think this is great. And then I mean, we can start talking about it if you want to, but Philly absolutely crumbled
Yeah,
at
they're
the end of that season, at the end
I
of their
was
series.
just listening to a different podcast talking about their the pop out rate that they had on the final two
Okay.
games, and the fact that like I think there's a lot of hero ball being played, a lot of people being like, well, I have to go put this one into the stands, or like nothing's gonna
Yeah.
happen when that gets harder and harder the colder it gets. So I forget. I wish I would have written the number down when I heard it, but yeah, the pop out percentage that they had in going into these final games was just like,
Oh
dude, you got
yeah.
to hit the ball. You can't just be like trying to crush
No.
it. That old
I got
adage.
some stats for you here.
Hit me.
Here we go. We got Kyle Schwarber broke the postseason home run record. He broke Mr. He tried to dethrone Mr. October. People are talking about calling him the new Mr. October, and Reggie Jackson has World Series rings. So I don't think you can. Sounds like he's still Mr. October to me. I love Schwarber too. I know he's got one ring for sure. But his time with Philly has just been loud, but no payout. And so Philly also had a 13 solo home run stretch. That is a record for the postseason. They had a lot of records in the postseason. They also tied the single game record with 6 home runs in Game 3 against the Braves. The Braves are also the team that holds that 6 home run record with them. Nick Castellanos, only player in Major League Baseball history to have multiple home runs in back-to-back games. Trey Turner, only player in Major League Baseball history to have 3+ home runs, 4+ steals, and 5+ doubles. And then I have no interesting thing to say about Bryce Harper, but of these 4 players, in the last 2 games, they went 0 for 28 in the last 2 games. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and Bryce Harper 0 for 28 in the last 2 games of that series. And then Nick Castellanos specifically went 1 for 24 in all 7 games against the Diamondbacks.
And honestly, there was enough bad things in the news happening that you think Nick Castellanos could have slipped in at least 1 home run while something was being announced. So
is that like his thing? Is that that's the thing that goes around when something bad happens? He homers.
Yeah, I've showed like 3 people this, but there's a really funny compilation like YouTube video that someone clipped up of like ill-timed announcements that Nick Castellanos hits home runs during. So okay. Yeah, you'll have to check it out later on. And if you're listening, go just Google Nick Castellanos radio or like calls or something, and you'll see it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's a tragic world we live in, so who knows?
Yeah.
That's not what we're here for.
Not at all.
But yeah, no, that Philly team was incredibly loud, and they are just sitting on the beach somewhere by now, I figure.
Yeah, another thing I didn't really think about for the Rangers is because they didn't do like the home run celebration things this year. That was another thing. So another one of the shows I was listening to mentioned that as a group they were like, yeah, that's just not for us. So that's cool. I don't know
being real humble.
Yeah, I don't know if like just caring about ball and not worrying about the silliness of stuff is like pro or a con, but
they didn't have any silly pirate swords or cowboy hats or a little fake wheelbarrow they ride in,
gangster uniforms they put on or whatever.
Yeah, what was it? One of them teams had like a beer bong or something. They were chugging Gatorade through or something.
It was the Orioles. It was the water bong. Yeah, water bong. They were doing the fountain.
I don't know if you can say water bong on national television.
Awkward.
Call the feds.
Yeah, legalize it, baby. Legalize the water bong in baseball. That's what we've been saying.
That's what we've been saying that for a long time
preaching
now.
It hard. Yeah. I think it's interesting too that when you look at like the top hitters in the postseason, Arizona does, or was it Arizona or Texas doesn't have anybody even in the top 10 of hits minus, or they've won Garcia obviously. So I don't know. I'm excited to watch the series again. Like I said earlier, like it's not 2 teams that I have particular strong feelings about, so I can kind of just make some fun allegiances however I feel.
Yeah, no, I'm for it too. So I'm really interested to see how this goes out. And like all World Series, I hope it goes to 7, baby, because that is the most interesting.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, quick prediction. You're taking it to 7. I'll give I think the Rangers, who have had their they've been in the fight all year round, like they're not really adverse to any sort of like competition and like being in, because again, all season they've kind of been like battling it neck and neck with the Astros to even get a spot in the playoffs. And the fact that for pretty much all the season, the Diamondbacks were like, well, the Dodgers are going to wrap up our division in the West. Let's just be the best wild card team we possibly can.
Right. That actually gives a lot of hope to every other team in the NL West, like the Padres, but not the Rockies.
I was gonna say, are you you think the boys down at Coors Field are looking back and going, maybe we do.
Maybe we can pull it off with our. If next year, if we don't lose 100 games, we can make it into the wild card spot. I did see an interesting statistic that it has been 2 years now since they expanded the playoff bracket, and this is the second year in a row that the bottom seed of the wild card looking at the Diamondbacks there, have made it to the World Series. Last year it was the Phillies, and then this year the Diamondbacks. So I do like the new playoff layout. It's the second season that this has gone in. I like the 3-game wild card series more than the one and done. And then I like that it allows a couple more teams to get in, because I've always been from the position that as long as you get into the playoffs, your mentality will shift. You see that in Philly these last 2 years. Like, they kind of shit the bed all season. And then as soon as they get into the playoffs, they turn into a completely different machine. I like that mentality. I like that motivation. And so it just takes a little bit, just takes getting in to get you going. And then I also, with the new layout and how exciting the wild card was this year, when people say that losing the games in April and May don't matter, you're wrong. You're flat out wrong. Like, every single game you play from it 162 matters, because like you've seen in the last couple, it can come down to one game, and even tiebreakers are in play. And that is something we would have seen with the teams playing every single team this season. I believe that just started this year, where the teams have to play every single team. That is where the tiebreakers come from, because if we would have had, because there were 3 teams left that had the exact same record, the Diamondbacks, Philly, and I believe the Texas Rangers all had the same record, 70 and something.
90 and 72.
90 and 72. There it is. And so home field advantage would have been decided by the season matchups. And how well they did against each other in the season. That's what would have decided the tiebreaker when it comes down to that 3-way tie situation. So then you do really see the impact of the new rules from top to bottom as well. So you saw that with stolen bases. You see that with the banning of the shift this season.
Pitch
and
clock.
you see it with the pitch clock. All these new changes seem to very much be weighing in and affecting the game more than you would initially think it would. So I never thought that there would be a 3-way tie. And then when I saw that, I was like, well, how do you decide who gets home field? And then I looked it up, and it is because of the single season matchup. And then this is the first year that you'd be able to do that, because in previous years, maybe the Rangers don't play Philly. Maybe they don't play the Diamondbacks, maybe they don't line up because their American League team don't play, that didn't always have to play every single National League team. So, I kind of think that a lot of these changes have made the game more interesting. I still don't really like the pitch clock, but that's because I still love going to a baseball game and having it the potential to be taking 4 hours, because I don't have a lot going on.
I came here for the day of baseball. Yeah. I didn't come here to slip it in real quick before I go do other stuff.
That's right. Yeah, I like a good long afternoon at the park with my boys. So, but no, you see a lot. I've seen a lot.
It's just less hot dog time, as we.
It is less hot dog time, and to be honest, that's why I'm going to the game.
Exactly.
So.
Well, cool. Well, yeah, I think I think it's gonna be a 5-game series. I think the Rangers will do pretty well, clean up a lot. I think Arizona will get like a lucky game somewhere, and people will make a big deal about it. I think
you're going Texas in 5.
Yeah, Texas is gonna win the first 2. Arizona will win 1, and then Texas will just finish it off.
Okay, I'll give you this. I'll say it's either going to be Arizona in 5 or Texas in 7. That's what I'm going to go with.
Ooh, okay. So, I like it.
Shout out to the Texas 7 if anybody remembers that.
I wish you can actually bet that Texas to win the first, second, Arizona the third. That would be plus 1,800. So if you like what I'm talking about, little 18-1 odds is right there over on FanDuel Sportsbook. So
you could be in the money.
You could be. This could be your car payment. This could be your house right there if you believe.
You could get so rich, maybe next season you buy one of them hot tub tickets down in Arizona, get to swim in the pool.
Ooh, yeah.
I do like the pool. I wish because I know that the Diamondbacks won on the road in Philly. I like to think they rang that Liberty Bell. They snuck in, put another crack in it
late at night. Stole the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, your starting pitcher for Game 2, Nicolas Cage.
So yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think think we got a good series lined up ahead of us, and I'll be excited to see. I just want to see some dingers. You know that everybody wants
Yeah.
to see a couple, but either way, it's gonna be a good series, and we'll be back to talk more about it next episode.
Yeah, and then before we leave today, I do want to share the breaking news that came this week
Okay.
of known legend Bartolo Colon, our
Oh
boy, our
yeah.
number one boy, Bartolo Colon. Not done yet. Look out, Dubai. There's a
You
new
know,
king. There's a new goat in town.
I love that while because I was looking through the like Saudi league that they're starting to kind of see who else was like picked, and there was a few like random players. I'm like, I think I remember that guy. But
Oh yeah, Didi Gregorius also playing.
yeah, that was the
Yeah,
name. I was like, somebody really sticks out, and I'm like blanking on who it was.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're just throwing money into everything at this point. Like it's really it's gonna be interesting to see over the next few years, like the landscape of like all sports and how it gets affected, because much like we found with like college athletes and stuff, it's like there's a lot of money surrounding sports in general, and when people start looking around and being like, dude, where's my piece of the pie for these fucking dollar bills? It'll be
Yeah.
interesting. It is funny to think that someone in the thing was like, dude, we got to get this Bartolo Colon fella. He's never
Oh yeah.
stopping, and I think it's time to give him his next act. So
Oh
we'll
yeah. I
see.
mean, I follow Bartolo on Instagram and he hasn't quit working out. He hasn't quit practicing. He was striking out little leaguers down in the Dominican Republic a couple of
Dude,
months ago. So
you don't
he's
get to pick
staying
your
sharp
training.
somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You train
And
how you
so
can.
and it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys, if they experience true success in these international leagues, whether or not they make their way back to the major leagues. Like Didi had the talent. I don't know what he's doing not in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I still haven't closed the door on my dream of Bartolo making his return to Major League Baseball, even though he did officially retire with the Mets.
Yeah, I
But
was
who
gonna
knows?
say.
Maybe it goes so well. You know, every team could use a good. He could be. He's always been a starter. He hasn't even reached the point in his career where he's middle relief or closing. You know, he still has time left. So
I
there's
think
plenty of teams.
most teams are worried about taking on Bartolo Colon because of the food budget that they'll inevitably have to take on. So that
Yeah.
might
That's
be the big. You got to
that
look
bottom
dollars and
dollar.
cents here.
That
Yeah,
bottom dollar.
yeah.
So
Awesome. Well, coming up, I think that starts in a couple weeks, right? Or it's coming up soon. Their first games.
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone else can look that up.
I don't even know what time it is in Dubai.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for checking us out. We'll see you next time.